Greetings, boys and girls. It is now time for Math Workshop. We're having fun learning math today. Math today is fun. We learn from our success. We learn from everyone. We're having fun learning math today. Math today is fun. We learn from our success. We learn from everyone. We're learning to think. Think today. Thinking today is fun. Thinking helps solve problems. Solving problems helps everyone. We're learning to think. Think today. Thinking today is fun. Thinking helps solve problems. Solving problems helps everyone. Can you read our learning target for this week with me? I can use strategies to help me solve word problems about money. Let's review what we already know about money, boys and girls. Can you name each item and tell me how much it's worth? Let's look at our first item. Can you tell me what the name of this is? That's right. It's a $1 bill, worth $1. When you write this, you would write 1.00 with a dollar sign in front. Remember? When you look at the place value of these numbers, you have the ones place number, the tens place number, and the hundreds place number. Notice that the decimal separates the hundreds place number from the tens and the ones place number. So whenever you have something that's worth $1 or more, remember, separate that with a decimal from your cents. Now, if we think about our cubes, our base 10 blocks, we know we have a ones cube, a tens cube, or a tens rod, and the hundreds square. I see those same place values in our money amount when we write money. Remember, don't forget the decimal between the hundreds place numbers and the tens and ones place numbers. Now let's look again at our ones, tens, and hundreds cubes. How much is the $1 bill worth? That's right, it's worth 100 cents or 100 pennies. This $1 bill is just like the 100 square, because if we count each cube, we would have 100 cubes. Just like there are 100 pennies that equal $1. Let's continue looking at our money. Can you name this coin for me? That's right, it's a penny. How much is a penny worth? Yes, it is worth 1 cent. Now let's see how that would look if we were to write it with a pencil and paper. We need our decimal. There are no dollars, so I can put a 0 here, or I don't have to put anything at all. For cents, it's just 1 cent, and 1 is in the ones place, so I would put the 1 in the ones place. Is there a tens place number? No, there's not. So 0.01 with the cent sign, which looks like the letter C, because the word cent or cents starts with the letter C. So this is how you would write 1 cent. And 1 cent looks a lot like this ones cube. The ones cube is in the ones place, correct? That's why we write 1 in the ones place. Let's move on. Can you name this coin for me? That's right. This is called a dime. Do you remember how much a dime is worth? Yes, it's worth 10 cents. Now, how would you write that with a pencil and paper? First, you need your decimal. There are no dollars, so we don't need anything in the hundreds place. But a dime is worth 10 cents. So we have 1 dime. So for our tens place number, we would write a 1 here. Are there any ones place numbers here? No, there are not. So we would write a 0 for the ones place. There are no pennies. There are no extra cents. And then the cent sign. Great job, boys and girls. This is how 10 cents looks if you were to write it down. Now let's look at our base 10 blocks. A tens rod is just like 10 cents. Because if you were to count each cube on the tens rod, you would count 10 cubes. Just like 10 pennies equals a dime, 10 ones cubes equals a tens rod. Can you remember how many tens rods it takes to equal a hundredths square? That's right, 10 tens rods equals a hundredth square. So can you infer or guess how many dimes equals a dollar? That's right, 10 dimes equals $1. Let's move on, boys and girls. Can you tell me what the name of this coin is? Yes, this is called a quarter. Can you remember how much a quarter is worth? That's right. A quarter is worth 25 cents. Let's make 25 cents with our base 10 blocks. We have 25, so that's 2 tens and 5 ones. Please help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 25 with base 10 blocks. Now if we turn this into numbers, we would have 25. Just like that. Remember, we always put our decimal in front of the tens place number. There are no hundreds. There are no dollars. So we can leave that empty or put a 0 there. Now since we only have cents, do we need a dollar sign or a cent sign? That's right, we need a cent sign. And remember, we write our cent sign on the right-hand side of our cents. Now let's look at our last coin. Can you remember what this coin is called? Yes, it's a nickel. Can you remember how much a nickel is worth? Yes, it's worth 5 cents. That's like 5 ones cubes by themselves. So let's move these tens rods back over here. So how would our number look if we were to write it down? Well, since there are 5 ones, the 5 would be written in the ones place. Are there any tens rods? No, they're not. So what number would go there? That's right, a 0. And then we can't forget our decimal. Are there any hundreds or dollars? No, they're not. So that would also remain empty. So 5 cents looks like this. Decimal, 0, then a 5. What goes after the 5, boys and girls? That's right. We need a cent sign after the 5. And here it is. Great job, boys and girls. Do you remember our hairy money? Remember, this is an easy and fun way to count money when we're drawing it on a piece of paper. And all you need to know how to do is to count by fives. Remember, we practice counting by fives every day with our calendar math. Let's start with the quarter. Can you remember how many hairs a quarter has? That's right, 5 hairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you remember what number goes at the top of each hair? Yes, since we're counting by fives, we write a 5 at the top of each hair on our hairy money. Now let's count our fives. Skip counting so that we can see how much a quarter is worth. Remember, when you count, cross out the numbers so you won't miscount. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. A quarter is worth 25 cents. Great job, boys and girls. Can you remember how many hairs belong on a dime? That's right, 2 hairs. And if we write fives at the ends of the hairs, how much do we have? 5, 10. That's right, a dime is worth 10 cents. Great job, boys and girls. Can you remember how many hairs a nickel has? That's right, a nickel has 1 hair. So if we write a 5 at the top and we count that 5, how much is a nickel worth again? That's right, just 5 cents. Now, for the penny, we don't need any hairs because all of the hairs are worth 5 cents each, and a penny is just worth 1 cent. So either you can write nothing at all, or you can put a dot here. And that just means 1 cent. You count with a 1. Great job, boys and girls. Let's go back over what these coins are called. First, we have a penny, then a nickel. This is a dime. And last but not least, we have a quarter. Now it's time for our first problem. Can you read it with me? Braulio has 6 nickels and 2 dimes. He spent 25 cents on candy. How much money does he have? Remember, boys and girls, we want to find the periods so that we'll know when to stop reading and start calculating or figuring out our first answer or writing our first number in the equation. So Braulio has 6 nickels and 2 dimes. Let's underline those key words. 6 nickels, 2 dimes. Let's draw those 6 nickels. Can you help me count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice how I'm leaving plenty of space on my paper between the coins. Since they're nickels, let's write an N in the middle of each of these coins so that we won't forget what they are. You can also work along with me, boys and girls, with your pencil and paper. Now, can you remember how many hairs a nickel gets? That's right, 1 hair. And can you remember what number goes above the hair? That's right, we're counting by our friendly number 5. So let's go ahead. As I write the hairs and the number 5 above each nickel, you can do the same on your paper as well. Great job, boys and girls. Then it says he also has 2 dimes. So how many more circles should we draw? That's right, 2. 1, 2. And what letter should we write in the middle of these circles? Well, dime starts with the letter D, so let's write the letter D in the middle of each of these circles. Can you remember how many hairs a dime has? That's right, 2 hairs. And what number goes above each hair? Yes, our friendly number 5. Great job, boys and girls. Now, let's read our next sentence. It says, he spent 25 cents on candy. Let's act this out, boys and girls. Remember how we hold up our hands in front of us and make a bowl or a circle with our arms? If we have 6 nickels and 2 dimes inside of our bowl, but we spend 25 cents, are we putting money into the bowl or taking money out of the bowl? Yes, we're taking money out of the bowl. So when you take something out, that means you're taking it away. Does taking away mean to add or subtract? Yes, you're right. It means to subtract. So we're going to first underline 25 cents and the word spent. We knew to subtract 25 cents because it said he spent 25 cents on candy. So let's cross out 25 of our cents. Do you remember how to count by 5s? Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So let's just go ahead and circle all of this money and put a big X over it. Can you do that on your paper as well? Let's take all of that money out. He spent it. He no longer has these coins. The question at the bottom says, how much money does he have? The money that's left is how much money he has. So let's count the money to see how much money Braulio has left. Remember, cross out the coins as you count so you won't miss anything. Can you help me count? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He still has 25 cents left. So let's flip our question into an answer. The question asks us, how much money does he have? So let's cross off the first 2 question words, how much. And what we have left is, money does he have? So let's start off with he has blank money. Okay, here we go, boys and girls. He has 25 cents left. Great job, boys and girls. Now I want you to try a problem all by yourself. I want you to read this next problem, draw the pictures of the money, give the money or the coins their hairs, and calculate your answer on your own sheet of paper. Pause the video, and when you're finished, check back to see if you were correct. Have fun! Welcome back, boys and girls. Let's go back over this problem together. Andre has 3 quarters and 2 dimes. How much money does he have? Remember, our key words are 3 quarters and 2 dimes. How many circles do we need to draw for quarters? That's right. You should have drawn 3 circles for the 3 quarters. 1, 2, 3. Notice the space between these quarters so that our hairs don't get all tangled up in a knot. What letter did you write in the center of each circle? Since quarter starts with the letter Q, you should have written a Q inside of each circle. And how many hairs does a quarter have on it? That's right, 5 hairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And don't forget to write your friendly number 5 above each hair, like this. Now let's draw the 2 dimes. How many circles would that be, boys and girls? That's right, 2 circles. And what letter goes in the middle of these circles? That's right, a D for dime. How many hairs does a dime get? Yes, 2 hairs each. And what is the friendly number that we use above each dime? That's right, 5 is the friendly number. The question asks, how much money does he have? So boys and girls, are we putting all the coins together and adding, or are we subtracting? That's right. We're adding to see how much money he has. So let's get ready to count and check your answer. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95. He has 95 cents. Remember, boys and girls, 95, the number 95, looks like this. Let's identify place value so we won't forget where to put our decimal. 5 is in the ones place. Remember, ones on the right, tens next in line. There are no hundreds. And remember, the decimal goes between the hundreds place number, or the dollars, and the coins, or the tens and ones. So 95 cents. There are no dollars, so that means we need to use a cent sign, which is the letter C with one line through it. If you have 95 cents, boys and girls, you are correct. And if you wrote the sentence, he has 95 cents, you are also correct. If you missed it, just go back, draw the picture again, and recount. Maybe you didn't leave enough space between your coins. Maybe your work wasn't as neat as it could have been. Boys and girls, now it's time to continue to have fun with money. Use your My Math Workbook, Volume 2, pages 483 to 518, to calculate with money. Remember, you can start on page 483 and you only have to complete maybe 1 or 2 pages. After that, log into MobyMax and continue to practice your math skills. Remember, if you sign on to my blog through the school's website, you can click on the link that says MobyMax, and your username and password is on the back of your homework folder. Have fun!